with Jaylen Wells, he obviously had an incredible rookie season. Like second-round pick, finished top 3 in Rookie of the Year. That's all great stuff. Now I hear there's conversations about, okay, what's the ceiling for him? We know he's an NBA player, and if you get that in the second round, that's a home run. We know that he's a real NBA player, a rotation piece. How much room is there to grow? What do you envision him being in 3 years, 2 years?
Surely. Look, with any of these guys, there's a lot of room to grow. I think look, in the NBA, there's stars and role players. Right. Can you be a high-level 8-man rotation role player? That's, to me, what Wells is going to be. Right? And I would say that is the difference. And that's the difference. Like, Jackson has star potential.
Well, let's put it in these terms.
If you told me G.G. Jackson, if you want to place a bet that G.G. Jackson could be a star in 5 years, like one of the best players on a team, I would not bet against that.
G.G.'s
like he's just it's an athleticism thing.
If you compare last season's
talent and athleticism, like
Jaylen had a undeniably better season than G.G. G.G.'s ceiling is higher than Jaylen Wells.
Wait.
Because, like, the other night, it's not even the...
He's freakish, man.
It's the grab, it's the miss the shot, grab the offensive rebound, and just punch it on you.
I mean,
that's not normal stuff that normal people do.
You also don't block something at the rim and then sprint past everybody and get an and one on the other end.
Right.
I mean, elbows at his ears.
Right.
Popping it down.
Right.
I mean, and he's 20 years old.
Right.
Like, Gigi is a very, very special talent. It's just about honing it again. Right. And can you? Some guys figure it out. Some guys. There's been a lot of special talents that don't live up to expectation. But I'm saying he's got the goods with his size, athleticism, gifts, and talent. He has the ability to be a star player in the NBA. I think Wells is more on that, like, Keegan Murray.
Sure.
Like, maybe, like, if he turned out, and people are going to be mad, when I say something like this, but an unbelievable outcome would be Harrison Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Harrison Barnes scored 20 points a game when he was playing in Dallas.
Right.
I mean, like, and Harrison Barnes is going to have a 15-year career,
Absolutely.
maybe longer. Like, to me, that's kind of the...
I would take that, and if you ready for this, if I were Jaylen Wells and you told me I can be Harrison Barnes,
absolutely,
I would take that.
Absolutely,
yeah.
A role player on a great team for a
long time,
for a lot of different years,
make $100+ million.
Absolutely,
right.
And I think that's kind of like the, you know what I mean, when you're looking at like comps of guys, like there's a lot of guys that are in that. We were doing a thing yesterday, and I think it was who was it? It was Trevor Ariza. Played 19 years. I was going through the list of guys because, Paul and Lowry are going to be 20+ now.
Right.
And I was going through the guys that have played. It was like Trevor Ariza was like 18 or 19 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Right.
It's unbelievable to have that kind of career as being a, you're a rotation level wing player that can guard people, knock down the occasional three, and like, again... And maybe I'm wrong about Wells. Maybe Wells is capable of more than that. Right. But I think that, one of the things that's great about Jaylen Wells is that he understood, and that's why he filled that role last year. And I think he'll do well to learn from the guy that's going to be playing with the Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. That's kind of the track, right? And it's like he understands, the league. I remember Draymond Green doing this big speech. And he was doing a speech to kids, and he was telling them, he's talking to them, I'm paraphrasing, but it's about playing team basketball. And he's like, there's 2 guys on the team that can do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
The rest of y'all have to fill a role.
Oh, sure.
Like, and so if you're not one, and I always think about that, right? I always think about that when it comes to teams, right? That your shot selection and your, like, all of the things that you do, like, you're not the guy. And I have covered a million people here that didn't realize they're not the guy and are, frankly, incapable of playing without being the guy.
Because they spent their whole lives being the guy.
Absolutely.
And it is literally, in many cases, the first time they've ever been a role player.
That's the tremendous advantage the guy that you guys were talking about when I was coming in has. A guy like Meshack, and you're talking
been
about
nothing but a role player.
Like that's That's what I do. And it is so hard. It is hard for the Laravias and the Roddies and the Zaire Williamses and you think about all the wings that we've run through. And it is just very, very difficult for those guys to be able to be, as they always say, star in your role.
Right.
The transition to being, I always bring up, I was out to dinner one night with Lionel Hollins, and I was talking to him about Sam Young, who we loved at first, right? But it was like, bro, Sam Young could have had a 15-year, totally solid, really good NBA career. You'd bring him in and he'd take the first 3 shots. He was out on the court. It was like, no, dude, you don't get to play. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was bro, if you just, because he was strong, he was athletic, he could knock down shots, and he could have been a great role player. Right? It was the thing that Dylan turned into there in Houston that he did not do here.
Right.
And he will end up having a very long, very successful career if his shots are less than 10. The problem was always here. He walked into a rat team, and then he was the longest tenured player, and so no one was ever going to tell him not to take 17 shots.
Right.
But obviously, Ime Udoka did.
Right.
You don't get to.
Right.
Anymore.
The Gary Parrish Show, live weekdays at 10 a.m.